Oh man, I feel like a fool among fools right now. I just did like 5 minutes of recording where I did not, or I was streaming instead of recording. But anyway, so this is a replay analysis for Zsaqwes. Is he Zsaqwes? Be playing a Drow Ranger in this game. So we'll kind of go through this a little quick. The reason I noticed it was recording wrong since my Dota crashed, but should be good this time. So we'll try and do this a little quicker. You end up last picking a Drow into a lineup where it's very not favorable though. They had like a Storm of Spirit. You don't want to play Drow against a Storm who could jump on you immediately if he's having a remotely good game. They're gonna get an Anti-Mage and an Invoker. The Invoker's not the biggest deal, but the AM can also just blink on you and fuck your shit up if he's having an okay game. Thankfully, I think they both have terrible games because of a dumb laning situation, so it's good. The only reason I know this is because I was 5 minutes into doing what I thought was a recording when it was not. Um, I guess this guy's already clicked mid, but yeah, whatever. So assuming their coordination, well, I mean, this is a little game, so their coordination is going to be bad, but like it doesn't take a genius Storm Spirit to realize I jump on the Drow, I win the game, or come damn close to it. So the reason it crashed is I want to look at your starting items. This is okay. If I think I'm going to be under a lot of harass and you are in a solo lane, you might want to get like a ring of protection, like some tangos, because your armor's really low, so that makes you trading with right clicks really poor. Her stack gain is like one of the worst in Dota because you get your ultimate, so they gave a really shit stack gain. The ring of protection gives you 3 more armor early on, which will increase your physical resistance pretty high. And you usually want to Aquila pretty much every game on Agi here, particularly like a Drow, because stacking stats on her is really good. So the Ring of Protection builds into the Bassi, which gives you the 6 more damage in lane, then it later builds into the Aquila you want. I probably wouldn't even get branches, because you're not really going to get a wand on her too frequently. So you can do like Tango Wraithband, Tango Ring of Protection, I think you should be able to get Slippers of Agility, or just the Circlet is probably a little better too, because that gives you 2 of everything instead of 3 of just Agi. But like, you should keep things like that in mind. That was another thing that's kind of weird. You skilled your Gust to get the rune from them, which is kind of cute, I guess. It got you like 100 gold and 100 experience, which is nice, because this lane's going to be kind of annoying. What sucks is having to skill that. Usually I wouldn't skill that until like level 7 or 8 or something, after this is maxed. Because it's not really going to help you. And like here you're like trading right clicks with the Crystal Main, and if you had the Ring of Protection, that trade would go a little better for you. Like you reduce another like 18% of her damage or something like that. It's pretty significant. Like Ring of Protection is a huge thing. Having this skilled first also helps your other lanes. Obviously it's only a minute later, so it's not the end of the world. But generally the skill build you're gonna want. Well, let's stop for a second. So there's something else I want to talk about here after this. You want like 2 levels of this in stats. In a lower level game, maxing it's probably fine too. But like in a higher level games, people usually only get like 2 levels of this and get stats, and like usually they'll get stats over this unless silence is really good. In this particular game, silence is amazing because they have that AM, Storm, Huskar, Invoker, Crystal Main. Like it'll help against all of them situationally. This will let you actually get kills on them, particularly if they're far behind, which based off their lane and how this game went for you, I assume they're behind pretty much the whole game. Crystal Main will stop her ult from killing you. Invoker will let you kill him. Huskar, I'm not 100% on this, but I think he won't be. If he has this set to autocast, I think it will still go through. But he can't manually cast it. He can't pounce you. It'll like knock him back. Maybe it'll let you escape and live. It's probably not the greatest thing against him, but like these 4 people are enough to justify it. But you also want stats against the Storms. It's a little rough. I probably would have gotten 2, 4, 4 or something in stats. So the other thing I want to talk about is when you're creeping in a situation like this, what you want to do is aggro the creep wave towards you. What that means is you walk up within 500 range of the creep wave, attack a hero. Doesn't matter if the hero's here, if their hero's here, it doesn't matter where the hero is, as long as you're within 500 range of a creep when doing it. Any creeps you're within 500 range of, which is It's about like that much-ish. Will aggro to you, and then run at you for about 3-4 seconds. And that pulls them towards you and lets you creep, because their creeps will run past your creeps. So for them to harass you, they have to walk past your creep wave a little more, so it makes creeping for you a bit easier. Which is a really important thing to know how to do and like practice at when you're in aggressive lanes like this, because that's like the only way you'll get safe farm. I think the Invoker is kind of weak early on, so their kill potential is not really high, particularly since he doesn't have Quast, doesn't have Cold Snap. It's just a 100 damage Sunstrike you have to worry about, which isn't really a big deal. If they were like a more aggressive hero, that'd be really, really important to know how to do. But when he gets more levels, like their kill potential on you will be pretty reasonable. Like here you can be playing up more. Like you don't really have to be worried about too much right now. Like they have no one who can really rotate. So you should like in situations like this where you're under that pressure, when you can get stuff, everything that you can get is really important. That you actually get it. So try not to miss like little things by just sticking around over here doing nothing. Let's go back to player perspective and go a little quicker, because you specifically want to know about like early itemization and like early gameplay. So like those early game things that I just talked about are really important, like knowing creep aggro. Your starting items can change your lane a lot if you don't bring enough regen, or if you don't bring the right items for the lane. You can be punished quite a lot. Let's go a little quicker here. In this game, I probably would have gotten like boots first in this lane. Sometimes if I'm greedy, I'll get more damage so I can get more last hits, but you probably want the boots because Invoker's a slow hero, and the way you're gonna die is if they like cold snap and slow you and you can't escape. And since he's such a slow hero, yeah, top lane's going pretty good for them. Since that Invoker's such a slow hero, he's got boots now. If he didn't have boots, he'd be at 280. So he's a pretty slow hero, and just being able to outrun them when they go for the kill on you would probably save you pretty often. So I don't know what item you're going to get right now, but we'll find out shortly. So Cold Snap Invoke? Indeed he does. So like this is when this lane actually does get scary for you. See, you are playing correct. What you can do is you can like pull your own lane. I know there's a Nature's Prophet jungling, but he seems to be kind of ignoring that easy camp, or at least he has this round. So you can pull that, you'll get like 3, 4, 5 creeps there, and like you don't even necessarily need to like do a double pull or like stack it first. You can just pull your wave. You pull your creep wave, kill this as quickly as possible, and like their creep wave might come under your tower or might like get to here, which is totally fine. The only time you really need to do that is if the creep wave's here and they have like kill potential on you, which their lane does now. So when you do that, you're going to creep under tower, which might be a little hard since you're a Drow and her animation blows, but you'll get more doing that than you... Okay, you definitely don't want to do this. You always want this max by like level 7. Very few instances would justify doing anything else. Well, cool, they're playing back now for no reason, and use that time to get some creeps, and that's nice. This is a situation you should get these creeps, but your lane's going to push now, so this is going to be a little farther up. This is where the lane gets dangerous again. If the Invoker was here, but he's not. So yeah, you can just go up and do that. You saw him with your ward. You know he's there. You should not be going for kills in this lane. See, okay. Let's even pretend you get that kill. What do you get for this? You run up. Like, even if we see you got that kill, which like the odds weren't, like you knew the Invoker was walking back, or you should have if you were paying attention, because he went for the rune, came back. There's no real reason for him to get that rune anyway, but you get a few clicks off on her, and like what does that do? It brings her low. Even if you kill her, like it's just a Crystal Maiden. I guess that'd be kind of nice, but it's really not that big of a deal. And now you've lost your HP, because even by trading with you, you'll lose HP, even if you killed her. Meaning that the Invoker has kill potential on you when he's by himself now. I know you hit level 6 and your damage is really high, so it's like the temptation to get a kill, but just play safe. Like, you're a carry. Your main job is to play safe, not die, get farm. You're in kind of a difficult lane. You've managed to edge out 20 creeps in 6 minutes. That's okay. I'd be okay with that in a rough lane. But, like, overcommitting on shit like this is not good. So now the Invoker's here, you fail to get the kill. You take a lot of damage. You don't die, which is good. I think he didn't... Okay, you do die. What the hell did you just do? There's no reason you should have died there. You were out. You were free and clear. Running. Okay, yeah. What was that? So you did this risky move, tried to get a kill you most likely weren't going to get ran down. Here you're safe. Like, this sucks because you're going to have to go back to base. But maybe on your way back, you kill this camp, maybe you kill a hard camp, then you go back to base. Which totally sucks. Like, that is not fun to have to do. You turn back, like, they can't. Yeah, you have boots. They can't catch you. They're slow. He's a 330 move speed hero. He's a 330 move speed hero with boots. You're 350. You were out. No more slows. You turn back to try and get a kill. You're a carry on like a 7-position Crystal Maiden. She's their only support in this whole game. And you turn back on her when you were free and clear. Like, were they even giving up on that kill? I think they were going for it, but it doesn't matter. If you want to try and be fancy, you could have ran. If they dive you under the tower, you can run circles around here, and maybe you get a kill. There's no reason. That trade would, under no circumstances, would that trade be worth it. If you look, okay, she has a higher net worth than you, but still, it's still not worth it because of the time lost, and that you're like now allowing their lane to snowball. Because you were level 6 there. When that whole thing broke out, that Crystal Main's like level 4, right? She's level 4, you're level 6. Boom, she gets like 5 there. I'll have to go back further, actually. Here. She's like 4.5. He's 5. You're nearly 7. Free and clear, turns back, does something stupid does. Now she gets her next level. He's gonna get free farm in the lane for a bit, where you're uncontested. Your lanes are all weaker because you're dead and you're a drow, so no one's getting your aura now. Like that's a huge blunder. But you do have the Aquila now. You do have Brown Boots Aquila, so that's good. You did get the correct items. Skill build's definitely bad though. What you can do, and you don't necessarily need to do on a drow, so you can get a Morbid Mask or a Helm of Dom or a Mom if you're really so inclined. So don't go so crazy here. There's no reason to. Just get your farm. Your life's all about getting your farm. So that just made you... Okay, what do we get for that? Let's look. You get into the lane, you're like, sick, I'm gonna go harass people. You know, there's no real great incentive to do so. You catch this guy off guard a little bit, right? What else slows down too? You walk up, you could get some creeps here. You could have gotten that chip damage. I guess that's like okay to do. As soon as you see this person, yeah, it's so risky because as soon as they get in range, like you can take a lot of damage. Because now he gets the cold snap off because the silence is down. You take a sunstrike. Even, like you're not gonna get the kill. You're low HP, and now you can't show him this lane. He's got quas. He's just gonna heal. It's 3 heals a second times 2. What? Am I crazy? Okay, that's just displaying wrong. He's healing 6 HP a second. So your harass doesn't really mean too much, but now you can't really show up in lane because they can kill you. Clinks is an idiot. Didn't go invis when he TP'd in. So that was more really poor decision making. You could have gotten those creeps safely, backed up to the jungle and farmed here. So like once you're level 6, you could farm the jungle pretty well just by attacking and kiting everything, and you won't take too much damage. The Morbid Mask lets you stand there and just fight with creeps. The Mom lets you jungle a little quicker too. Helm of Dom does the same thing as the Morbid Mask, just more expensive. This is still terrible. This should be maxed. This is what's gonna let you push towers. This is what's gonna let your Clinks get tons of solo damage. Like the scaling on this is crazy. 20, 26, 32, 38. Well, I mean, like I guess the scaling's not necessarily crazy, but how much it helps your team. It's like that times 5 is basically what you're getting. It's nuts. This skill build is terrible. So here if you don't feel safe at this point, you're level 6. Once you hit level 6, if you don't feel safe in your lane, that's cool. Just go in the woods. Fuck this Nature's Prophet. He doesn't matter at all. The farm is all yours. If you're ever in an area and there's another hero there, it's your farm. It's your farm. You're the 1 position. It's your right to take whatever the fuck you want on the map and not care about them because they're your pubs and they're stupid, right? So like here, if you don't feel safe in lane, cool. Go into the jungle. Go deeper into the jungle. Go do ancients. Just do something. Don't just sit here and waste time. Because you don't necessarily need lane farm. Like heroes that don't need lane farm, when you can't safely get that lane farm, go in the jungle. It's that easy. Yeah, you're gonna die here. So you knew like mid was missing, no one's really showing top, and you had an idea that people were in bottom, so that was really risky to go and do. That's you dying again. Oh, you get like, let's see what you do. It'd probably be a good idea to get like Tread's Aquila or something, or Tread's Wand, or why am I saying wand? I don't mean wand. Tread's Bracer, Tread's more Wraith Bands, but like you get the Wraith Bands to stack with your Precision Armor, which you're not even doing, so that's the problem. One thing which, well, you have it on this game, but just kind of reminded me, is after 10 minutes, like that's a general rule. Once you're not trying to hold a lane static anymore, which on a Drow at this point you shouldn't be, because you should be pushing the wave, getting the tower if you can, and if people TP, then you run. And this is also really bold, which you're gonna see in a second, because you're getting an Invoker coming from behind. Like they've been in this lane this whole time. You have no reason to think that they're not still here. So you should be pushing out this creep wave, and when you're pushing out a creep wave, you want an Aquila on, because it helps your creeps push, it gives them 2 more armor, which makes the tower take longer to kill them, makes creeps do less damage. So you should always have this on, basically, after 10 minutes, on pretty much any hero. Unless you're trying to static farm. That's the only reason you don't do it, is if you're trying to static farm, because the Aquila will push the wave, which is why people usually have it off. This is screwing up. You got the kill. You got the kill. Still not worth it, but you got the kill. So that's good. Yeah, you just have to be like really careful about stuff like that. Like their lane has huge kill potential on you. Particularly now that Invoker has some levels. She's got 3 in Frostbite, meaning she can hold you perfectly in place while he sunstrikes you. So here, push into the jungle. Push into the jungle. That's all you should be doing. Just autoing it down, so that's good. Your next item should definitely be Treads, though. Cool. Yeah, no one's here, so attacking the tower is also totally fine. And you got the clinks, so it's excellent. What do we do here? Cool. Treads purchase. And you don't have to always stack stats with like Wraith Bands, but it's generally not a bad idea to do because it helps you farm a little bit. So you're playing this pretty well. Your team's grouping and taking towers because they have a Drow. It's just how you want to play it. Your farm's pretty shitty right now. Like you have to use that time like once you hit 6. Like there's a window, probably around like 15 minutes is really when you want to ideally group. And until then, I mean you can group whenever. I shouldn't say there's any certain like specific time frame where you should or shouldn't group. Anytime where you feel you have an advantage and you can group and take objectives, you should. Like right now there's Storm, terrible shape. They're anti-mage, even worse shape. These 2 people are scary. The Huskar apparently had a shitty lane, so his life is bad. You have a huge advantage. So there's nothing wrong with grouping then. But like in the time before this, from like, you probably had, I think you had level 6 at around 6 minutes. You want to be utilizing your whole jungle and your lane to farm and get as much items, as much stuff as you can. This is really bold. You see level 8. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You're too low to try and risk that. You can't even show for these creeps, or he can kill you.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? It's a killing spree over here.
This is if he wanted to, he could have just jumped you right there, half his mana. Yeah, he could have killed you there. That was really risky. Situation like that, you just have to book it, go to farm somewhere safe. Let's go a little quicker. Your team can also Roshan really well, so you probably should have tried to coordinate with them and get them to Roshan. Morbid Mask is fine too. That helps jungle a little more. You should, okay, another thing, you should be on Agi Shreds right now. So you have a Morbid Mask, so you're trying to like heal up. The Agi Shreds on you are going to increase the amount you're getting from your precision, and increase your damage, and increase your attack speed, and increase the amount your life stealing into a lesser health pool. You should only be on the Power Treads when you're trying to fight, or you think you're going to get jumped or something. Let's see what happens here. You see this Huskar, you should not have been walked up to that. That was a bold TP. There's no way that's gonna work. So you're farming this camp. You farm this camp. You see the Huskar in just a second. You should run away from this. Or start TPing immediately. Because you were too low to try and like do anything there. So you die again for no reason. You might have died anyway, just because that anti-mage was there and he could have mana voided to stop your TP, but you approached that completely wrong. It was either like run or instantly TP as soon as you see the Huskar. You like waited too long until he had already leaped on you and started attacking. But besides that, you're kind of doing pretty well. Your team got a big advantage from that dumbass top lane on both parts. You got sacked a little bit, but they didn't get enough kills on you. It didn't stop you from getting farm enough. So you still got some items, farm levels, all the things you need as a drow. And then your Clinks beat a Huskar mid, so that was really good too. But you primarily want to know about the early game stuff, so that's just what I'd say. Work on like the creep aggro tricks to make sure you get even more out of your lane. Once you get level 6, make sure you're abusing your jungle and your lane and getting as much farm in that time period as you can. And then when you group up, you take huge objectives, which your team is doing because you were already ahead. But like, imagine if they lost top or the Huskar snowballed out of mid or something. Then you would have been in much, much worse shape. Because you weren't getting as much farm. Turns out this game went really well for you, so, you know, it wasn't that big of a deal. They don't respond to your stuff well, their lanes are terrible, they have no real support, so they get into a bad shape early and they really have no means to recover it apart from them playing well. But it's a low skill game, so that's just how things are going to work sometimes. So like right now you should try and, you can solo Roshan at this point by the way. When you use a Frost Arrow, if you look, this actually lasts 7 seconds on creeps, and that counts Roshan. Roshan is technically a creep. It's like a level, like, what, 30 creep, I think it is. God damn, this replay thing is so annoying. Come on. Come on. Give me a free camera. Like a level 30 creep, yeah. So you can use a Frost Arrow, and he starts moving really slow. So you can sit back here, auto-attack him, and use a Frost Arrow on him. And then he slowly walks over and attacks you, walks back, slowly walks over and attacks you, walks back. So every 7 seconds you just fire an arrow at him. And you can solo this. You can try and call your team to come help you with it. And that'll let you take like the next objectives that can be kind of scary. Like the storm still is nothing, so you're still in fine shape. The AM is dirt poor, so you're also still fine. If your team wants to group, you should probably just do it and be with them, because you're a huge source of damage and taking objectives. But like you just not dying is also good for them, because you're giving them all huge damage. 47 damage, 47 damage, 47 damage. It's a huge amount of damage. Clink should come take this and try and rush, but I guess he's not. Yeah, the Clink does so much damage with your passive and an Orchid. Like, these two have to be scared. All 3 of them. Actually, every person on their team should be scared shitless of a Clinks right now. Yeah, and he's killing it. And he just profits killing it. You're doing the worst on your team. You have the hardest lane, so that's kind of not really a surprise. But like, there were plenty of things you could have done to avoid every single one of these deaths and get more farm. It's cool. A lot of lower level players don't even like think about taking rush. You could add earlier, but this is still good. Now that you have this, you have all their tier 2s down. You can probably feel pretty safe like sieging a high ground right now. You probably should have given it to the. I guess giving it to you is fine. It was like you or the Clinks. Either one would have been fine. Lets you like siege high ground. If they try and jump you, the Clinks could probably get return kills. So I'll say, yeah, that was fine. That was fine. Because alternatively, it's like either you or the Clinks who's sieging high ground, and you can do it like more consistently because he mainly wants to do it when strafe is up. And then when he dies, he comes back with nothing. But if you die, then you lose. They lose the Drow Aura, which is like a huge source of damage. So you guys aren't rushing it, which is good. You don't need to rush it. You have 5 minutes on the Aegis. If people are really close to a big item, you can wait. But now your team is grouping up, so you really should be with them right now.
You know, Morty, it sometimes feels like they don't even care. Dire, you gotta fortify them. Their middle tower's under attack.
Because you should be here sieging this tower, not your Clinks. Because if you're standing here sieging their high ground tower, they have to jump out to here to get you. If you have your Clinks standing here, your Bane, your Coddle, your whatever, if you have everyone else standing here, so you have yeah, he's an Axe too, so you can just keep throwing blasts and healing you during the daytime. So when you have the Coddle, you really only want to do the siege during daytime. Because you weren't here, they were able to like jump the Clinks. They were able to initially go on the Clinks. Let's look at that a little more actually. Let's see what happens because you aren't here sieging when you have the Aegis. So not everyone's here. They see them here. The Clinks knows you can come here. That's good. They get a kill on Aegis Prophet. he should not be scared yet. He should still be here. Whatever. So now they should be backing up. They overstayed their welcome. The fight gets kind of skirmishy. Yeah, because you were in here and that Nature's Prophet got picked, they overstayed their welcome and died. But you should be here sieging, particularly during the daytime. Because if you're sieging and the Clinks is back here, or even if the Clinks is up there with you if he's being dumb, like that's a whole lot for them to go on and a whole lot of damage.
What a mess.
It's cute force staff. Probably got a little more time on the Aegis though. Actually, I think it's only like a minute and a half. You're gonna lose it pretty soon. And okay, so let's talk about a Shadow Blade too. So right now, the reason I'd get a Shadow Blade, it'll help you get the solo kills and will also save you, particularly in lower tier games. Like if this AM was doing really well, he could jump on and kill you as a Drow if you don't have that Shadow Blade. So it helps like the positioning, it'll help you live, it gives you some damage, gives you some attack speed. That's not a bad item. The Manta will let you get rid of the Cold Snap too though, so that's something to think about. It'll also help you siege. It's kind of like the nuke proof item, so there's nothing wrong with the Shadow Blade, but like your alternative was like getting a Manta here, which will help you siege high ground more. You can Manta the Huskar ult if he jumps on you too. So he'll like jump on you, miss the ult, and then you'll start attacking with 3 people, which is really good. Rest of them it doesn't really matter so much, but definitely helping you siege the high ground is like important right now. Like, your team can bang with them late game, so it's not the end of the world. Ugh. Yeah, so the Shadow just resulted in you dying anyway. I didn't even see how that went down. Just talking about other stuff. They're looking for a fight over here. Ooh, go for staff. Oh, the guy just got wrecked. I think his thing wore off as he was there. That's what it seemed like. No, he didn't even. Yeah, the Clinks is trying to fight without pacting anything. So his HP is super low, and he's still a squishy hero. He still hits hard because you're alive, but he's still super squishy because he has no HP. Yeah, when he ults, it purges that blind, so yeah, he got destroyed. But like, once he's dead, you should just be out. Why even be here? There's nothing to gain here. This means you split push the map. Like, your Clinks died, your Nature's Prophet died. You split push the map. You want to take more organized fights. Like, their team benefits from skirmishes. They have AM who's going to blink around, Invoker who's going to try and, like, use all of his abilities in prolonged fights. Huskar, who if a fight's prolonged, puts out crazy damage. Who gives a shit about Crystal Mint? But, like, you want organized fights. They want skirmishes. They want pickoffs. They want prolonged, protracted fights. And you guys are giving that to them, which is really bad. Because when you see a fight going south, don't try and run in there and get something. You just died for no reason. You could have went top, you could have farmed these woods, you could have pressured this tower. Now, because if you went and pressured that tower, they couldn't be here. Or they could be here and then you get a tower. Or they can come here and try and take mid tower, because they have no pressure anywhere else on the map. But since you chose to die, they could just try and go for an objective. Yeah, Bane dies now too. Should be able to get this tower if they want. Might be a little risky without a sentry, but yeah. At this point, you guys are just too far ahead. So and they didn't have the sentry down, so the Clinks got into a good position and just destroyed them. So you should be with your team right now. Like, your team clearly wants to push. They're like all up here. He goes for a kill just for fun. So you're really gonna die for this? It's not gonna fuck, huh? That was so stupid.
Dyer's middle tower, dog. Dyer's middle barracks are really getting. You know, Morty sometimes feels like they don't even care of abuse.
BKB is not a bad idea here either. Because it'll prevent the Huskar damage, it'll prevent the storm jumping on and killing you. And it'll prevent everything the Invoker has to offer. So that's a good item choice too. If you really wanted to like siege high ground here, Manta BKB would have been better. This is better for like split pushing and getting pickoffs. But like, your team's at such an advantage right now, you should just be trying to push it. Yeah, 15, 10k. So you didn't really want too much help in the late game, but we're here anyway, so we're gonna look at it. As long as this game go. Not much longer. Supposedly you get 8 kills in this game. You're 1 in 5 right now, so you have to start making some better decisions. Cool, got the AM. Yeah, I can't even see what's happening here. Let's see how you approach this fight. Okay, I don't know. You just use that on a creep wave? Why? You blow your silence on a creep wave, I think. Am I crazy? Is that a graphical bug? Yeah, it was. Yeah, you can't. So, it's kind of true that Shadowblade will make you like semi-invincible in pubs, but you should never play like it is, because that's just poor play. If you play like your Shadowblade makes you invincible, maybe you won't be punished for it in some games, but the games you do, you look like a complete asshole and die like that. So you just like Shadowblade and like ran through their team, like, oh, I'm fine. It had dust, so you died. And you also, oh, another thing, you probably don't want a Shadowblade because you have a Clinks. I wasn't even thinking. And this guy has a fucking Shadowblade. You guys are just stacking invis like crazy. Yeah, so you already have a Shadow. You have one invis, one Shadowblade on your team already, and you got a Shadowblade. Like, that's bad because they're gonna be buying the dust and sentries anyway, and you're just giving them another person to kill with it. So you don't want to make their invis less effective, or sorry, their detection more effective when you already have invis heroes. So you definitely should have gotten like a Manta BKB this game. Probably wouldn't have saved you here, but well, if you had the BKB, maybe it would have saved you. But you see this happening. You have a ward. You have a ward, and what do you do? I don't know why I'm having to watch this so many fucking times. It's not complicated. You see them all here. You see the Huskar, you see the Invoker, you see the Storm. You should be scared. And you Shadowblade and you run forward towards them. They saw you in that wave. I think they even saw you Shadowblade, didn't they? Okay, yeah, I mistook that for a Gust last time. You Shadowblade and run forward to dodge him, get dusted and die. You Shadowblade and you retreat. You don't want to be in the front of fights. You want to be in like the back. You can't be gone on initially. Like, that's terrible. You should have backed up right after that creep wave. You knew all of them were here. You tried Shadowblading and running this way towards the enemy, which if they have detection means you die every time. If you clicked, you would have seen that Huskar at dust too. Team gets destroyed when you really shouldn't have. You guys are still at a huge advantage, and like when you're a Drow and you throw away your mid game like this, and you die and you get caught out all the time, like that gives them comeback potential. Their team could definitely beat you late game. You could beat them, they could beat you. Like the late game is pretty even in these teams, because they just have a stupid amount of cores. You guys have like Drow damage on like split pushing and pick off heroes. It's like your game kind of went how it should have. Like you kicked the shit out of them in the early game. I assume they just do something else. Cool. Get another Aegis. It's good. I like the ancient stacking, that's good too. It's a good way to make sure your farm stays up and you like ensure your item progression. It's like to do ancient stacks. It's won me so many games in like Gyrocopter. You don't farm them the fastest, but who cares? It's still like over 1,000 gold sitting on one spot just waiting for you to take it. See, this is a fight where they don't go on you. You guys just fuck this shit up. Your Clinks isn't Aegis. Let's see. Let's go back to... Okay. So we're all kind of grouping in this area, right? We got a Coddle, people being clowny. Oh, I guess I went back way too far. I was looking at the health bars and assumed when they were all full, that would be the beginning of the fight. This guy gets picked off for overextending. You get into this fight and you're just there clicking. It's excellent. You waste a mana void, gets ulted, your Clinks respawns, Oh, it's a slaughter. It's a slaughter. And it's so far up here. Guaranteed set of racks. Probably two. Yeah, piece of crap bloodstone. It's sad how much the Storm Spirit has, considering his lane is so bad.
Force field leads me to believe that Dire just fortified their structure.
Either way, you have a BKB, you sit here. They're still down people. Yeah, good objective. That was well played. See, when those fights go super well, where they don't get on you first, and you're able to sit there and just click, you just destroy people. You're like a, kind of like a sniper who has damage but less range. When people just ignore you, they're gonna get shredded. You just end the game here. Okay, yeah, that's an option too. Cool. Yeah, so you play that fight well, but up until then, I don't think you really did too many things right. Like you didn't. Well, let's try and. We'll try and like summarize now too. Okay, so your lane went pretty well. You should have tried to aggro more creeps to get a little more farm. You played too aggressive on the crystal main once you got 6. Which you got the kill probably wouldn't have been worth it, just because you would have lost so much HP for that trade, and you knew the Invoker's positioning the whole time. Like, it wasn't like she was completely alone. If she was completely alone, it would have been okay, but you knew where the Invoker was. Lost a lot of HP, ended up turning around and dying for no reason, and after that, like, once you had 6, you could have farmed out your jungle a lot. I know there was a Nature's Prophet, but you still could have gotten in here and gotten some creeps in between getting creeps in the lane. Then you want to do that for a little bit until you guys group up and push. You guys grouped up really well. You took a lot of objectives, but that was mainly off like the back of rest of your team not being in bad shape. Like, if your team got behind early on, you probably would have lost this game. Which speaks volumes. I mean, like their lineup isn't really designed for early game. Like, you should be winning the early game, but that's not necessarily the case. This playing is where I look at our lineup like we should dominate the early game, and we lose the early game. But playing like well after that is what's really important too. But you still got some farm, got some items. Your item choice was poor. You bought a Shadow Blade when you had a Clinks and a Nature's Prophet with a Shadow Blade. That's bad because you're letting their their reveal pay off dividends, and they got a bunch of kills that you shouldn't have gotten. If you had a faster BKB or a Manta, that would have helped with your sieging and your survivability. I don't know why I'm resuming this. The ancient stacking was great. That got you some important farm. Jumped you to your BKB, and I believe maybe it helped you your Shadow Blade. I don't remember if you killed the stack for the Shadow Blade, but it definitely helped you get that BKB. What else are we looking at here? Oh, like this was horrible. You saw their whole team. You Shadow Blade and run through here like it makes you invincible. Like, the Shadow Blade's good for the slip pushing. When you see like a fight being taken like that, and like if you click the Huskar, you would have seen he had dust. Meaning you Shadow Blade here and you run forward instead of retreating, you could have made them run further into your team. If you went invis here, when the Huskar was right here, if you ran that way and he dusts and then jumps you, he's going to land on you like right here, and your team was in this area. I mean, you get to solo kill that Huskar and then engage the rest of their team. Instead, you run forward. When you Shadow Blade, he dusts you, jumps you right here. So you're talking right here versus right here, which is a huge positional difference. Because here, your team can't help you. Here, you're getting soloed by a Huskar. You get frostbitten by a CM who's over here. CM couldn't have helped here. CM could help here. Your team could help here. Sorry, your team could help if you were right here. Team couldn't help you if you were right here. You get destroyed. That's all because you're using a Shadow Blade. Like, it makes you invincible, which it doesn't. Even when you had perfect vision too. Like, you knew where everyone was. You knew there's a storm here. So if you get caught here, Storm could have jumped you too if he was feeling so inclined. Which he didn't even have to do because you died so quickly. So that was a huge blunder. And you saw that was a fight where you got picked off, and then they were able to take on your team like individually. And this fight was them ignoring you and getting shredded by Drow and your team's collective damage. There's another like skirmish fight here where you saw your team die here. The Clinks did some dumb crap over here. The Clinks did some really dumb stuff over here and died. The Nature's Prophet died, and your instinct there should be, okay, fight over, fight lost, retreat over to here, split push, make them choose to either try and go for mid or do whatever. You should have a TP for that, so when your team respawns, if they are pushing, you can TP back and help. But you chose to like run to this fight and die, which is another huge blunder. Cost you tons of farm, cost you like objectives, and almost let them take the tier 1. Obviously your team still won the game, and like it didn't really matter, But that was more off the backs of your Clinks just destroying it and being a natural counter, winning his lane, winning the jungle, winning their lane, and shutting down the anti-mage on the storm pretty well. So that about sums it up. So that's the issue with your itemization, which is one of your big questions, and like how to play the early game. So I wish you the best of luck, and I hope this helps out. All right, have a good one, man.